go now into the second to the camera where possible. However, it will fall back to the old method. Hopefully, this lays the framework. As for the TP-Link Omar
temperature fire and the radiators, but also the shades on those large sudden windows to keep temperature fine in economical multimedia, different variables. I have a bunch of sensors, rain, things I'm interested. I like to, if you like, old boiler that is not possible to automate at all. It has equithermal regulation, it has a simple calendar where you can set fixed time schedule, the temperature more. It will recognize that we are upstairs because we turn on the security system, and in the morning it will raise it again. Then there are the radiators. We used to have those old thermostats there. They did open and close the valve based on the ambient temperature, but they was constant. There were levels from 1 to 5, I think, but it was all the time the same, regardless whether the temperature in the house should be low or high. So we have replaced them by the thermostat controlled by the Z-Wave, and we set the target temperature to be consistent with the boiler as well. Then there is the sun. You have those large windows all across the southern side of the house. When it's sunny outside, it will heat up the interior very fast, much faster than the heating actually. So to overcome it, we have installed those external shades in all the windows, and we tilt them to block the sun from coming in. Now, it's kind of stupid that we block the sun from coming in and to keep it nice and cold inside, and then we use the heating to heat it up, right? So if I could control the sun to help with the heating, that would be quite smart. And this is what I do. The problem was those shades were controlled manually. So what I have done is, again, I have installed a small Arduino in those wall boxes, and I'm controlling the position and the tilt of those blades, and based on the temperature and other things, I am controlling temperature in the house to be optimal. And in the evening I lower the shades to keep the heat in, but also to keep privacy inside because those windows are large. And in the morning I just raise them up again. Then there is the lights. All the lights in the switches in the walls, there is either on-off or shell switch, so I can control the lights based on the movement sensors or based on different scenes or other automations. I built one recently that's when there is only one person in home, it recognizes, I call it single user mode, and what it does is when someone comes into a bedroom and turns on the light, it will know that the person is in the bedroom, so it will turn off the lights in the rest of the house. Yes, I have kids, so that was a reaction on that, because I could see that most of the time when I'm not home, all the lights are on, so I'm controlling it in a smart way. All of those you can obviously turn off if it bothers you. I have a wife, she's not as crazy about automation, and that's why all the switches, if you come here, you wouldn't actually know that the house is automated. All the switches look exactly the same like they worked before. You toggle them on and off and they work fine, but you can also control them using Home Assistant. Then multimedia. I have two Google Homes, smart TV, couple of speakers with the Chromecast, and I am streaming either radio stations or Spotify from within the Home Assistant. It's actually quite cool, and I can control it by voice from the Google Homes. And then there is all kinds of different sensors for the washing machine, dryer. Then I have one crazy sensor inside the mailbox. There's like an infrared sensor that will detect that there is something in, and when I come home and I will turn off the alarm, it will remind me that there is a mail in the mailbox, or indeed during the day if we have a new mail, it will kindly remind us, which is kind of cool. Before we had situations where we did have mail in the mailbox and I was assuming my wife would pick it up. She assumed the same, and it was there for a week. Rain sensor that I use for the garden irrigation. Then the garbage sensor, I made this one, so I hope you know it. If not, go and check it out. It's available on the community store. We obviously sort the garbage for paper, plastic and so on. And we have like 5 or 6 different sensors for different types of waste, and it reminds us to take the trash out of the house. I have this little display next to the door that will show me when I'm leaving the house that I should take the trash out. On this display I also show the current time and when the next bus is coming. I also wrote this little sensor for the Czech or Prague public transport. So if I want to know when is the next bus coming or leaving, I can just look at the display and it will tell me. There, by the way, also the mailbox icon there as well.
New man in the mailbox.
And then I check other things like, I don't know, I have a sensor for the printer toner in this laser printer. Right? Everything is coming into one place, into Home Assistant, so I have only one place to go to if I want to find out everything about this house. But I want to keep this video short, so I will end it here, and I will make 4 other videos where I'm gonna go in detail into those things and show you how I done it. I will make 2 videos about the heating, about the thermostat and about the boiler. I'll show you how it's done. And then I will make 2 about the shades of the house. And who knows, if you like that, I might continue with some others. All right, so that's it. See you next time.
I have this motion sensor switch in my office. When I walk in, the lights turn on, and after I leave, they turn out after a few minutes. But here's the problem. If I'm in the office but not moving around, the lights just turn off. I feel kind of dumb waving my arms around and turn on the lights all day long. And what about the times I want to keep the lights on even when I'm not in my office? Now, a sane person would see this problem and pop in one of these, a $1 light switch. You switch it on, and the lights stay on. You switch it off, and they stay off. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to install this smart switch, and then I'm going to install a separate motion sensor and program my lights to do exactly what I want with a Raspberry Pi running Home Assistant. What's Home Assistant, and how can a Raspberry Pi turn on my office lights? Well, I'll get to that. The kind folks at Nabu Casa sent me this, their new Home Assistant Yellow. It's a Raspberry Pi powered smart home hub with built-in Zigbee and a bunch of other features that make it easy to manage your smart devices. And the best thing? All of it is under my control. And I can make sure that my so-called smart devices don't get too smart and open up security holes to my house through the internet. But first, let's talk about the Yellow. The Yellow was originally called Amber, and it was crowdfunded in October last year and starts shipping soon. It's sold by Nabu Casa, the open source company that manages the Home Assistant and ESP Home projects. Home Assistant is the most popular home automation software that lets you manage all kinds of smart devices and integrates with everything from smart outlets and light bulbs to garage door openers, solar panels, and even weather vanes. But the best thing about it, it gives you control of your own home. A lot of vendors require you to install a device that connects to their own cloud over the internet. I don't know about you, but I don't like relying on random Internet of Things companies to manage the security and safety of my house and store my data. I'd rather not wake up as a popsicle this winter because my thermostat got hacked. But Home Assistant manages everything locally, inside your house. I'm not gonna lie and say it's easier to set up than any other home automation system, but it is pretty easy. The Yellow comes in this frosted case, though the one I have here is an early review sample, so it doesn't have a nice finish like the production units will have. Taking the board out, you can see how it's built. The model I have includes built-in power over Ethernet, so I could either plug it into the wall with an AC adapter, or power it through my PoE switch. Under this large heatsink, there's a Raspberry Pi Compute Module 4, the brains of the Smart Hub. One really cool feature of this hub is you can actually upgrade the Raspberry Pi inside and get more RAM or add on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. But you'll need to transfer your Home Assistant install to the new Pi if you do that. The board has a built-in real-time clock and battery, and over here is a little built-in Zigbee radio which lets you connect to all your smart devices wirelessly. And you could add on a Z-Wave radio like the Z-Pi 7 using these pins. For the purposes of this video, Zigbee and Z-Wave are basically the same thing, just two separate wireless standards used for smart devices. But the important thing to remember is Zigbee and Z-Wave devices aren't interchangeable. It's best to stick to one or the other if you can. I'll be using Zigbee in my house. Over on the side of the board, there are 3 LEDs, a red power LED, a green activity LED, and a yellow LED that lights up with different patterns to indicate the status of the Home Assistant hub itself. The last major feature on this board is this M.2 expansion slot. You can pop in an NVMe SSD in it for more and faster storage, and you could even configure the Yellow to boot from the NVMe drive if you use a light version of the Raspberry Pi. Alright, so the first step on my automation journey is replacing this light switch. I'm going to put in this Leviton single pole Zigbee switch, and because I'm going to turn on the lights in my office, I need a work light so I can see what I'm doing. It should be obvious, but even if you're a bit insane like Redshirt Jeff, make sure you switch off the branch circuit that powers your lights before you go replacing the light switch. And to be extra safe, verify the power's off of the switch with a little power tester like this one.